All right, Anthony, we're live, man.
What's going on, everybody? Welcome to an impromptu special edition of the Anthony Sain Show with my man Kenny Stubblefield. For those of you who have never seen Kenny, there he is, right there to my left, to your left on the screen. I'm sure
Scary.
y'all seen Kenny before. Yeah, you know how it is, man. When a brother gets some new toys, they feel like they want to play with them, man. I just got all my home equipment back, so
Yeah, man.
playing with my new toys, man. So yeah, just wanted to jump on about, of course, the Steven Adams stuff. We haven't jumped on in a while. Do people comments? Oh, okay. I see
Yeah,
people comments are
go over
popping
to
up. That's dope, man.
comments. Yeah.
Look at that.
So let's
All
let's
right,
give
yeah.
everybody a chance to get in before we start really
Yeah.
diving into this, because
Yeah, that's why I'm doing a little bullshit talking right now. Yeah,
yeah,
I
yeah,
didn't want to
yeah,
wait until Wednesday's show to talk about this. Yeah, we're gonna give y'all a minute. I'm not gonna be long. My kid's birthday was Thursday, having a birthday party for him at 3:00.
big game.
Collierville, yeah, out in Collierville. So got to break that ride from Midtown to the Sea Town.
Let's go.
So yeah, we're gonna wrap this up in a minute.
You coming out
Bring
to
your
my neck of
ass,
the
bring
woods,
your ass.
man.
Oh, this is pretty dope, man. So it tells people how they're watching. Oh, everybody's watching on YouTube because that's the link you put out.
I'll put it out on Twitter too. Yeah.
Yeah, let me put. Give me a second to throw this out on Facebook, man. It's gonna be different when they jump his Facebook. Folks gonna be like, "Hey man, tell your cousin to call me." It's gonna be a different type of comments.
Different types of people coming in, huh?
Yeah.
The Facebook crowd ain't no joke.
Fool, I thought you were gonna get me on your podcast. Fool, what?
Hey, tell me about Tom Lee, man. What'd you think?
Oh, I went to Tom Lee party today, man. It was I was blown away, bro. Like it was It's always been, relatively nice, but I got some other stuff to say too. That eliminating all of the free parking and making it where you got to pay to park does seem to be an attempt to. No, I'm not gonna say that. It's cool. It kind of sucks, but it's cool though. Like it does kind of keep certain people.
Hey man, I found free parking yesterday. You just got to know where to go.
Yeah, I know, right? You got to walk a little bit.
You got to walk a little
it's
bit.
cool though, man. I really enjoyed it. I wasn't expecting it. I wasn't expecting it at all.
Hey man, let's get to it, man.
All right, let's go, man. We got the people.
Yeah, we got them here, man.
All right, let's get it in. First of all, welcome y'all again. Let's get into it. I ain't got long. I ain't gonna play with y'all. Reading comments so far on Twitter. I'll say this. I'm not as I'm not gonna say I'm not as bothered by this as the fan base seems to be. I try to take things as kind of what they are and try to remove emotions from stuff every now and again when it comes down to this type of stuff. So I was listening to Twitter Space, and Young Harriet made a very valid point. She was like, we didn't lose Steven Adams today. Steven Adams has been gone for over a year. Yeah. So, you know what I mean? We got one preseason game of Steven Adams. And I think that I'm not trying to downplay what Steven Adams is for this team, because it sucks. It's definitely a blow to lose Steven Adams because of what he does. But the focus of this team, of course, is Ja Morant, Jaren Jackson Jr., and Desmond Bain. In some order, whatever order works for you. That's what the pecking order is on this team. Steven Adams' role in the big picture, big shit too. The big picture is probably fifth in the starting lineup.
Mm-hmm.
Whoever our wing defender is on this team probably matters more than who our big is, because that wing defender position is also a position you'd be willing to spend more for, give up more assets for, those type of things. So I've seen a lot of knee-jerk reactions to this. Go get this player, go get this contract. And all those names sound great. I'm not saying those aren't great players. The Rob Williams, what's the guy with the Mitchell Robinsons? All those names sound great. Even like the James Wisemans, whatever. Any of the bigs that Detroit have on there, all these names people are saying are cool, but we have to sit back and take a look at what it takes to actually get a guy like that on your roster. Those teams aren't sitting there like, hey, the Grizzlies just lost Steven Adams. Let's do our buddies out west in the Western Conference a favor.
They're not willing. You know nobody's trying to help us out. Yeah,
let's do our buddies on the bluff, on the Bluff City a favor and send them what they need. That's not going to happen. And also, just numbers wise, it'll be kind of hard to pull those things off. Yeah. Any deal that you make for a guy, if you're thinking of an awesome name, like whoever your guy is, Clint Capella is the name I've been saying. Whoever your guy is, like whatever, add his name. To get a guy like Clint Capella, you're gonna have to start with a Brandon Clark, and you're also gonna have to add another decent contract to that to make that deal happen. That's a Zaire Williams, that's a Luke Kennard. It's that type of player plus a Brandon Clark to get a guy like Clint Capella, who won't be a priority outside of this season if Steven Adams is back. And even if Steven Adams isn't back and you ride with a guy like Clint Capella going towards the future, you're talking about a guy that you're paying $20 million a year to be your 4th, 5th scoring option on the team. Right. There's going to have a lot of money going out in Jaren Jackson Jr., in Desmond Bain, in Ja Morant. Because regardless of who they bring in as center this year, Desmond Bain and Jaren Jackson Jr. are probably going to be all-stars. And you're going to have 3 all-star, not all-star level, but 3 all-star players under age 25 on your books for the next whatever amount of years. Yeah. I love what Steven Adams does for this team. I love the things that Steven Adams does that don't have anything to do with basketball. You know what I mean? I love the nuances of Steven Adams being on this team. But we have to keep in mind that all you're looking to do is find someone that can rebound the basketball and can get out of the way to let those guys do their thing. And I'll tell you guys something that's been a fact for the entire Zach Kleiman, Ja Morant era. The whole Zach Kleiman, Ja Morant, and Taylor Jenkins all on the same timeline. They all officially got here at the same time. Kleiman was here, but he didn't take over as official GM until all that happened at one time. One thing has been constant. No matter who they've had at center on this team, that's been their guy, whether it be JV, whether it be Steven Adams, whether it be whoever, their role has been very small. It's been asked to be very small. JV did a lot more things, but they didn't particularly need that, and that's not particularly what they want to do going forward, which makes sense. Like that's not. I much rather see us be a team that's playing through Ja, Bain, and Jaren than making sure Jonas Valanciunas gets his touches. You know what I'm saying? Like we've been a good team that entire time, and I feel like whatever decision they decide to go in, as long as it's a guy who's going to be a workhorse, that's a big body, that can get rebounds, that can take pressure off of Jaren, allow Jaren to play the 4, and get out of the way, not asking for the ball, not looking to be featured on offense. As long as that's your guy, I think you're fine.
Can we do something?
A guy I'm looking at hard. Go ahead.
Can we do something? So you've come into this little live viewing and you've gone straight to the future, kind of what the Grizzlies are going to need to do, what they need to do. Mm-hmm. There's a lot of folks that are in our comments that are saying, "Man, I feel bamboozled." Right? Like I feel,
I do too.
I feel manipulated, or I feel whatever by the front office. What are your thoughts on kind of the way this entire situation has gone down this last calendar year? Right?
Go ahead.
No, you got it.
I'm gonna quote Shamaria Wiseman, who I see in the comments. I'm gonna say something the way she probably would say, so she's a young 20-something-ish person, is given incompetence by the front office, especially considering some new information that this is new to me. Y'all I don't know why everybody knows this with me, but people are saying that Steven Adams might have been reluctant about getting surgery and that the Grizzlies may have wanted him to get surgery. And he's the one who was saying, I want to go holistic. I think I missed that whole thing. I guess I was waiting for Derrick Rose quotes or something, but I missed that whole thing with Steven Adams. I don't know if he said that.
I don't think that's been publicly stated. Like, I think
okay,
that's
I'm hearing fans talk about this like this is just known, like this out there.
I have not seen that. Maybe I've been.
I've been knowing a lot of shit.
Derrick Rose
that don't speak on. Yeah, I've been knowing shit that don't speak on, but I ain't know nothing about that one. But if that's the case, I still think that's incompetence because this is just another example of this front office not being able to deal with a strong personality. And we've seen several instances of that since they've been here. If Steven Adams was reluctant about getting surgery, that's a totally different. That changes the entire narrative. But that's when you have to kind of take the reins out of his hand and do what you need to do. Like I said, I'm not really stressing about it because I'm like, just go get a guy who's any guy that can make Jaren play the 4. He's not gonna be Steven Adams, but Steven Adams really doesn't do a lot. Like his job is not very complex at all.
What he does frees up a lot of things for the main guys on the team,
for sure. But it's not a complex thing that you're asking him to do. You're not
asking
him
to set screens. You're asking him to set screens, rebound, and defend.
Get out of the way. Get out of the way. You're not really asking him to defend because he makes the defense. He makes the defense better strictly because you can use Jaren all over the place, and Steven just can kind of
roam.
Yeah, and Adams can kind of stick to your bigger, more less mobile body. That helps a lot. But I think they're I'm gonna tell you guys I'm looking at hard. I'm gonna tell you 2 things that I've thought about. I'll tweet this out because people are throwing names at me. I'm like, man, y'all this isn't a video game, man. Like you have to think past this.
This ain't 2K.
Like, yeah, you gotta think about like contracts and do you want a guy who's making? Do you want a guy who's got 4 years, $60 million up on the contract when you're trying to? That's not a need, man. You're gonna have to pay because we're all happy about Zaire. You gotta pay Zaire in a minute. You know what I mean? You got to think about these things down the line. Steven Adams' deal is gonna be up, in a couple of years. You got to think about all these type of things. A guy that I'm looking at is Andre Drummond in Chicago. I think he's making about $5 million a year. He's a guy that you can do. You can look at a guy like Jake LaRavia, David Roddy, John Conchar, one of those type of guys. You'd have to sweeten it. Chicago's not going to trade you Drummond for one of those guys straight up. I would trade Drummond. I would go after Drummond. It may take multiple second-round picks to do that. Depending on how desperate you are, I would do a heavily protected first, maybe, that ultimately turns into a second. Something like we did with Lance Stevenson a few years ago. I would do something like that because it kind of protects everything else, man. Because anything else you do, you're going to have to move a Zaire Williams. You're going to have to move a Luke Kennard. And in some cases, you may even have to move that and a Brandon Clark. You understand what I'm saying? So, and possibly picks for some of these guys that are being thrown out there. I would also look at moving Brandon Clark. I've been saying that for about a year now. You know what I mean? Because if you got Jaren and you got whatever your big is, who's replacing Steven, and then you get Steven Adams back next year, and you have Tillman, and you have Santi, who's has an extremely long runway. What are you really doing with Brandon Clark? I don't care what you want to argue. If you keep Brandon Clark on this roster and you go out and get another big man this year, that makes him even more expendable in the future. So why don't you consider using that guy as your trade piece? I mean, because if you go get, especially some of the names that people are yelling out, if you're talking about getting one of those guys, use Brandon Clark to be that trade piece. If I could wake up tomorrow and just stick a guy on my roster, I go get Mitchell Robinson. I would do whatever to get him on my roster. If I could just wake up and just stick a dude on his roster, but I know it doesn't work that easily.
Guy named Lloyd asked the question. He said in the comments, he said, "Is it time to move on from Steven?"
This is dope as hell, bro. I like this.
He goes, "Do you think it's time to move on for Steven Adams? And does your feelings about moving on or sticking with Steven Adams dictate who the Grizzlies should then pursue in this moment right now?"
Yeah, I was testing the waters on this the entire summer. You know that about what does it look like to move off of Steven Adams anyway?
Yeah.
And I'll say this because I ran into Chris Harrington at when I was at Tom Lee Park today. He was out there with his wife, and I said, "Man, smart teams find a way to move Steven Adams during the summer with all these question marks, and let it be somebody else's problem."
Right.
That's the type of energy I'm on. Lord, I'm with you, bro. I thought we should have tried to move Steven during the offseason. And then you just, try to find you another guy. Because that position on this team has been the most fluid. It's been the one that has changed the most, and guys will fit in regardless of what his name is. You understand what I'm saying?
It's a plug and play type of role.
Yeah. It's the way that people have talked about, are we better without Tyus Jones? The same thing can be said as no matter who our starting center is, he's been fine. Like we're
going to be fine. Yeah. That makes total sense.
As long as you're talking about putting a center there, like we get some fall off with Tillman because I don't think Tillman is. I don't think Xavier Tillman is the long-term answer. You know what I mean?
Basically, your criteria on this is figure out somebody who can fit that center position to allow Jaren to continue to play the 4, not have to move over to the 5 on a consistent basis.
Moving Jaren to the 5 with a power forward is not the answer, and they're going to try that. They're going to trot that out there. I'm gonna tell y'all this too. They're not doing nothing between now and the first 2 weeks of the season. I can guarantee you.
No.
They're not going to do anything. They're going to see what they look like with Tillman and Jaren out there.
Tillman's going to start. Tillman's going to be day 1 starter. Yeah.
I can guarantee you that. They're not on the phones right now trying to find a big. They're going to do their due diligence. They're going to take a look at the league and see how things are going. But I don't see. And then they'll be able to take a look at guys who had that. I think it's January the 15th. Guys who were recently signed. But I'm not really here to dump on the front office, man. There are things that I have issues about. I think we should have got Isaiah Hartenstein last year. I think we should have thrown the full mid-level at him. He's a guy that would have fit perfectly with this team. You probably should have drafted Walker Kessler instead of whatever you're doing with Jake LaRavia, whatever you're doing with him. You probably should have taken Kessler instead. But that's all water under the bridge. No need crying over spilled milk. But we're going to see. We're going to see what they look like. And I'm also the guy too, man. They're not going to look bad. They're not going to look terrible with Tillman and Jaren out there. Like if that's what they roll out, then they come back with Santi and Santi and Roddy or Santi and
Lofton
Jr. whatever. They're not going to look terrible with those guys. They're still going to be good as hell. You know what I mean? Because we played the Milwaukee Bucks pretty much as is, like our guys against y'all's guys. And we was on that team's ass, bro, for 3 quarters until we pulled our dudes out. Like they had a big lead. We took the lead and we expanded that lead out with their dudes out there. And we've looked good. We played 1 preseason game with Steven Adams, but we were beating everyone until we pulled our dudes out. And that was with, Tillman, Jaren, and whoever out there. This team is still going to be very good regardless. It does make you take a hard look at what our championship window could be without Steven Adams for sure. But like I said, man, I think that you can still make this team a very good team. You could just find a dude who's just going to rebound, set picks, and get the hell out of the way. And I'll say this too, man. Jaren being more active in actions looks very good. Like him running screens, things for him, and just running screens for guys who aren't bigs, that type of stuff. Stuff's been looking good for this team this year. I'm upset about it. I'm down about it. But I'm not where a lot of people are. I'm not like go sign 38-year-old Dwight Howard bugging over this. Like I'm not, man. It's like they made an emphasis to go get high character guys that can be a positive influence, strong vets in your locker room, and
so
nothing
no
about
Cousins.
Nothing about that says go get Boogie Cousins, who's a madman, or Dwight Howard, who, man, Dwight Howard is doing all this talking, all this yapping because he's trying to he's trying to reincarnate his NBA life. Like he's not really a guy who's going to come in and help somebody's team.
Bro, he's in Taiwan. He's in Taiwan right now.
He's out there trying to get his money, man. Like I don't want that type of dude on my team. I want a dude who's ready to come in and play. He's 38 years old, bro. And he ain't LeBron. Like, what are we doing, bro?
No.
And but that's really about all I got though, man. Go ahead though.
No, I'm good. I just think, I think I agree with you in that this is, I think we are absolutely going to be rolling with the team. I think you're going to see Tillman. You're going to see Jaren. It wouldn't surprise me if they waited all the way until the trade window closed and before they got a big man, because then who you're getting ready for the playoffs.
I definitely don't think they're doing that until Ja gets back. I don't think they're doing do anything until Ja gets back.
Nah, man. They're not going to mess with anything. I agree with you totally. I just get more frustrated with like this idea that I told you from the beginning at Media Day and Drew Hill, when Drew was on the show with us,
that shit wasn't sounding right.
Nothing sounded right about what was going on there. I could honestly, I think this NBA, I think the roster is going to be just fine. So I'm not even worried about, I know there's a lot of questions and answers about who should they go get. I'm not really even worried about that. To me, I get pissed about the fact that they were trying to sell us a bill of goods about what Steven's knee was looking like. And from the very beginning of Media Day, I just looked at it and was like, they're waiting for this shit to explode, bro.
Yeah,
like that's all they're doing.
He's out there talking about he don't know. He's like, it would be unfair to say that I'm ready to play 5-on-5. And they're talking like, oh, he's ready to go.
He said He said it would be irresponsible for me to play 5-on-5, and then he comes out and starts playing preseason ball, and I'm like, interesting. That's weird.
Yeah,
like I thought it was fine, and then I just knew it, man. I knew it. Anyway, I know you're on a totally different vibe than I am. I just kind of go, man, what the hell is happening over there, man?
I'm down about it. I don't want you to think I'm not down about it, but I just kind of, like I said the other day on Twitter, man, like I'm not going to run into a brick wall and expect it to turn into a mattress. You know what I mean? Because I know how this front office operates, man. They're not gonna go out there and trade, because only thing for some of the guys that you're saying, the people are saying, you would have to trade Brandon Clark and like a Luke Kennard or Zaire to make that happen. Like that's not happening, bro. They're not gonna do that. BP49 says until trade deadline, you better pray they are in a okay position if they wait that long.
We'll see. I mean, if they're not, then they're not. But you know what I'm saying? Like they're gonna wait. What the whole idea that I said, what I meant to say was just that they're gonna wait.
I'm not quite trade deadline, but they're definitely not doing anything until Ja gets back.
They're not gonna press they're not pressing the panic button right now over there. They're not pressing the panic button right now. So
because they didn't, y'all have to remember, and I said this on Twitter too. They went into the NBA playoffs with no Brandon Clark, no Steven Adams, and all they did was sign Junior Lofton, who was already on their team, and say, hey, and then they didn't play him in the playoffs.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like they're not going to they're not going to do whatever you're thinking about doing. They're not doing it. Like, and if they do something, I can see them getting an Andre Drummond type guy on this roster. But I don't see them doing that in the next few weeks. Like that's something
they're not calling Spain.
Yeah,
they're not calling Spain and bringing. They're not getting Marc Gasol back.
Ask me what I fucking love it if Marc Gasol is back on this roster.
Dog.
Ask me what I love it if Mark gave him a call. Who's Mark's agent, man?
Oh my God.
Get Mark's
agent. Would you like it or not?
I would love Mark. Yes. Hell yes.
It'd be wild, wouldn't it?
Hell yes. Mark Gasol.
Then they sign Tony to a couple of 10 days till Ja comes back.
I say all that. If y'all out here, if y'all out here talking about let's go sign 38-year-old Dwight Howard.
Give me 38-year-old Mark.
Yeah. Right. Is Mark's 38 years old too?
Mark's 38. Yep.
No, I think I'm good on that too. But if Mark gets here, bro, like, come on, bro. Dwight Howard, come on now. Come on.
Wild.
But yeah, man, we appreciate you guys for chiming in with us. I was not going to wait until Wednesday.
No.
Somebody said, "Don't you put that on us?" So I thought somebody tell me I sounded dumb for saying go get Andre Drummond or trade Brandon Clark, but he's stomping about Dwight Howard.
Come on, man.
Old as Bron. It ain't played in 5 years, I don't think. But yeah, man. Yeah, I'm glad we could hop on, man. Kenny, glad you hopped on with me.
Appreciate you, man.
Yeah. Man, this is pretty sweet though. Like I like the little thing where people can jump on and chat or whatever.
Hey, that's the goal, man. The goal
I can respond back to them.
Yeah.
Like via chat and shit.
I don't know.
Oh shit. Yeah, I gotta sign in, but no, I ain't did that. Man, that's dope, man.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
Appreciate y'all, man.
During the season, Anthony and I want to do this more. So, like, if you know, big things happen, big games happen, you know, even late night kind of stuff, like after games, like, you'll see us jump on here quite a bit more. So, it's gonna be fun, man. You know, we don't have to just wait until Wednesdays and Fridays for you to hear from Anthony. We can do these things live all the time.
Yeah.
So,
let me give one more comment in. My boy BP49 says, like you said, we don't need anything big. I'm cool with Drummond because he give us rebounding in space. I just don't trust X at the 5 all season. Jaren needs help up front. I'm the same way too, man. And
totally agree.
And bro, I'm not gonna act like I didn't see Andre Drummond bully the shit out of us in like a couple games last year. And I was like, okay, bro, we really letting Andre Drummond cook us. If we just get a dude, I don't care who he is, man. Like, you just get a dude that's a true center. It can let you keep Jaren at the 5. I don't care because if Tillman was a true center, he'd be fine. You know what I mean? But yeah, I'm not. It sucks. Don't get me wrong, because now you got to move stuff around with your roster and all that type of stuff. But yeah, I'm not super stressing about this, but you know.
But all right, bro. Let's get out of here. If
If
anybody else has any questions, hit us up. We'll respond in the comment sections. But man, let's get out of here, bro. Good job.
Yes,
Tell
sir.
Gabe we said happy birthday, man.
Oh, I will, man. I will for sure.
All right, brother. We're out of here.